Good morning, ladies. I apologize for the last video. It got cut off. See what happens when the dogs get interacting with what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. And for whatever reason, the laptop wouldn't let me get back on there to continue. So I'm actually going to start this from the beginning again. And I was just continuing to share with you how to deal with an estate. And I'm going to turn this a little bit because it looks like those lights are a little bright. But so let's see, what was I telling you about the insurance company? So with the insurance company, I found that one of the policies we had with mom, actually we had not changed the beneficiary and it was still listed as my father-in-law. And with that situation, he has passed away. He died in 2015. So I talked to the insurance company and they informed me that in addition to the claim form and the death certificate for mom, I have to send a death certificate for dad. And they will want a copy of the will and a copy of a short certificate, which is the certificate that is issued by here in Pennsylvania, my local county, that states that I'm acting as the executor. So I'm going to have to start that process. Unfortunately, the check will probably be made out to the estate and it's probably going to have to go through probate now. So you live and you learn, right? So I'm trying to give you tips and making sure that you don't have that same issue. The other issue that we addressed this week is that my husband and his brother are named as the executor in the will, and they have decided that they would like me to assume that responsibility. So what has to happen is it's called a letter of remuneration, and the attorney's drafting that up, but both Alex and his brother will have to sign off on that, saying that they're giving up the position as the executor so that I can act in that capacity. And this actually has to be completed before we go to the county courthouse to get me sworn in as the executrix. So that's the female version of the executor. So that is another step that we have to go through, but not everybody's going to need to address that. But if you need to change the executor, that's a process you'll have to go through. So the other thing I wanted to address was income taxes. And in regard to filing the federal and the state return, you do need to file a return in the year of death. If there has been any activity that's happened whatsoever, in her case, I know there have been dividends that have been paid. So we'll have to address that. And there may be taxes that have to be paid. We also will be filing a federal estate tax return. Now, mom doesn't have any estate taxes, and most U.S. citizens don't have estate taxes. And why is that? Because in this year, which is 2021, you have to have over $11,500,000 in estate assets in order to have to pay estate taxes. But again, they want it to be filed, they want it to be accounted for, so we will go through that process. The other thing that we need to address here in the state of Pennsylvania is inheritance tax. Now, my understanding is that there are only 9 states right now that currently have estate taxes or inheritance taxes. So you need to take a step back and look at the state in which you're considered to be a resident and how that might affect you. So there is inheritance tax in Pennsylvania. So if assets go between spouses, it is 0. If it is going between children and parents and a linear descent in a line there, it's 4.5%. Other family members, it can be 12%. And then when you get out to cousins and nieces and nephews and non-family members, it is 15%. So it can be pretty hefty. You have to pay attention to that. And in the state of Pennsylvania, if you take care of paying that within the first 90 days after date of death, they give you a discount. And I believe right now it's 0.5%. So it can be worth it to move quickly in order to get the estate settled. If they are still employed, and again, here in the state of Pennsylvania, we have local income taxes. There may be a need to file a local tax return. In the state of Pennsylvania, you're only paying taxes if you are self-employed, if you have a business, and so any of those earnings need to be accounted for. So I just thought I'd touch on those issues and bring you up to speed in regard to that. But again, I'm relying actually in this case on the attorney to make sure that I'm not missing anything and making sure that we address everything as we move forward. So I just wanted to share again with you. And if you have any questions, I mentioned on last week's call that I do have an executor's checklist, items that need to be addressed immediately after death, and then things that you have to address when you're dealing with the estate. So send me a direct message or comment after this video, and I'll be happy to send that over to you. I haven't figured out technology-wise how to attach that checklist. I'll still work on that and see if I can do it. But so give me a call, 412-346-4655. Send me an email at diane@pearsonfinancialplanning.com, or give me a direct message here through Facebook. I appreciate you joining me today. Again, if you find this of value and you want to share it with anyone, please let me know. Send me their email address and I'll send them an invitation to join us here in our private group. And as always, have a great day.